Hi. So, Health Education England has announced that from next year, people in the UK will be able to complete an apprenticeship program to become medical doctors, obviously. So, this is something that is so amazing. This is a new pathway to becoming a medical doctor that is so fantastic because it's going to mean that people who are not able to do medicine the traditional way hopefully will be able to have access to this particular program. So I'm going to be telling you in this video what the requirements are, who this is for, how long the program is for, what you can expect, and on successful completion of the course, what sort of level are you going to have in medicine or as a doctor. So by the way, you're welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, it's such a pleasure to have you. If you're a returning subscriber, again, it's always such a pleasure to have you return to watch these videos over and over again. I do appreciate your time, and if you haven't subscribed, do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a new video on here every single day at 8 a.m. Oh yes, I drop a video on here 8 a.m. prompt unfailingly every single day. So this apprenticeship is something that I'm really pleased obviously that it's been introduced, because in fact, some of the reasons actually that Health Education England has given is that they want to increase diversity. So when you look at the NHS workforce, for example, medicine is not very representative of the people. And so what they've said is that they are hoping that this pathway is going to improve the quality of patient care by having a more diverse workforce when it comes to doctors. So I can only hope that, when they're doing the recruitment, that diversity is obviously reflected. Obviously, the recruitment hasn't started yet. It's going to be opening soon. So if this is a pathway that you're interested in, you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel, keep an eye, because as soon as recruitment opens for this particular pathway, I'm going to be letting you know so that you can apply, because this is such an excellent career progression pathway for you, if you're keen on becoming a medical doctor, and I'm going to be telling you why in the in this video. So again, obviously there's that diversity, there's better quality patient care. It's also career progression, because what many of the trusts are saying is that it's going to be an extra career progression pathway. There are many healthcare professionals who would like to train to become doctors. Maybe they're already in their 40s, 50s, but they're not really keen on going through that traditional medical degree. So this will be quite a good pathway. And the best thing about this pathway is that it's going to be funded. That's why it's an apprenticeship. So they're going to pay you basically to study medicine, which means that you're going to pay no tuition fees. You're going to be paid every month while you're studying. So how long is this course for? So the course is going to be for 5 years. In fact, if you're wondering and you're not sure how long medicine is for in the UK, and by the way, if this is our first time meeting, my name is Melvis. I currently work for the NHS as an advanced nurse practitioner. I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, people who want to study nursing with career progression in the UK. So I'm sure that if you're a nurse, you're a carer, somebody who is keen on this pathway, then obviously you want to check out my program. If you're keen on just transitioning into other healthcare jobs, whether clinical or non-clinical, you want to make sure that you check out my coaching program, because I'm somebody that I'm so passionate about career progression, because I feel like, yes, you're already in healthcare, so what? Yes, you're already a nurse. What next? Yes, you're already a doctor. What do you do next? Because career progression is something that you cannot underestimate. Because if you just get in and you remain at the lowest level, it's not, you need to do something more. You need to try to study more, do whatever it is that you need to progress and to excel. So that's what I'm all about. So like I was saying, this particular program is going to be for 5 years. And normally in the UK, the traditional medicine degree is always 5 years. So if you want to become a doctor, you have to do the necessary exams and you get into medical school, it's 5 years. But if you already have a degree in any other subject, you can go to medical school and do only 4 years. So these are the two pathways that are currently available for people in the UK who want to train as doctors. So this apprenticeship pathway is going to be the third pathway. But the difference with this one is that you're going to be paid, to actually study. But with the other two pathways, you need to pay tuition fees. So that's really a big difference. Again, because it's 5 years, just like a traditional medical degree, it's going to be interesting, how people choose which pathway to apply for. And even though this is something that is very welcome, personally, I think it's fantastic that I've introduced this, but obviously it's not been without criticism. because many people have said that, how would you just let people do an apprenticeship to become doctors? They're not going to be efficient, they're not going to be qualified, they're not going to be XYZ. But obviously the General Medical Council in England or in the UK has said that, on successful completion of this course, the students will need to do the medical licensing assessment, and they will have the General Medical Council license to practice as a doctor. So yes, if you do this apprenticeship, you're going to qualify as a doctor the same as any other person who's done the traditional degree in medicine, because you're going to go into medical school as well as the apprenticeship. But it's just that you're doing that, it's like on-the-job training. That's the difference, unlike the normal nurse medicine degree. So you want to make sure that if this is something that you're keen on, like I say, it's quite a good pathway for you to pursue. Again, applications haven't opened yet. They're going to be opening soon. I checked again with Health Education England, and it's going to be opening soon because the new students will be starting next year. I'm not sure what numbers there are. They didn't specify the numbers, but we know that in the UK, places to medical school have a cap, which means that they don't just take an endless number of people. They're quite strict because not only do you need to have the capacity to train them and the medical professionals, but you also need to have placements to allocate students. Similar to nursing, obviously this is why nursing numbers are capped as well, because if you're recruiting more people, you need to make sure that you're able to allocate placements, and if you don't have enough placements, you cannot recruit more people. And this has also been one of the areas under contention, because some people are saying, if medical places are currently capped because there's no place for placement, how come you now want to recruit doctors to do on-the-job training? How are you going to train those ones? So again, NHS trusts and organizations that are keen to start this pathway, they're currently just doing preparation. Make sure that those education standards are set in place. Make sure that the General Medical Council, obviously, they've also approved these. Department of Health is going to be funding the program. Like I said, you're not going to be paying yourself. It's going to be paid by the Department of Health. So it is just going to be free for you. And one thing also is that with student loans, when you think about medicine, studying medicine, student loans, like that's a big thing. Because if you are a UK student studying medicine, normally your tuition fees are just over £9,000 per year. So if you multiply that by 5, you're gonna be paying almost £50,000 in tuition fees. If you're an international student studying medicine in the UK, there are quite a few universities that will charge you in excess of £37,000 per year to study medicine. So you can see how the tuition fees can really be very high, and you can then appreciate the advantage that this pathway brings. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified, when I drop a new video on here. And like I said, I'm going to be keeping you updated on this particular pathway once applications open, so that you can get in there and apply, And also, I was thinking, this is, medicine is quite competitive. Medicine is really competitive and is always regarded as a very academic subject. So if you're somebody who is a healthcare professional, now we're talking about the requirements, because you may be thinking, well, who is this for? What do you need to be able to apply for these positions? So obviously Health Education England has already said that the individual organization, the employer, is going to be liaising with the university to set out their recruitment criteria for candidates that they want to enroll onto this course. So I can see some residency requirements there, like how long have you been in the UK, what sort of visa have you got, what documents have you got, where do you work. That's definitely going to come into contention, because if you're employed by, say, an NHS organization and you've worked there for 2 years, for example, it's more likely that they will offer you a place than somebody who isn't working there. Just to give an example, because with the current apprenticeships into other courses, that's kind of how they work. There are quite a few conditions with both residency as well as working in that particular area. And this is why I always stress on the importance of choosing the right employer when you're being recruited. It's not just a matter of who is going to pay you more, but you need to think about your career progression. You need to start thinking in advance, because when opportunities like this come up, if you're not working in the right place, you're going to miss out. And another advantage also for this apprenticeship is that they have already said that, they are looking especially for healthcare professionals, current experienced healthcare professionals who are keen on progressing in medicine. Which means that if you're currently working in healthcare, whether you're a carer, you're a radiologist, radiographer, occupational therapist, physiotherapist, all these different roles, people are going to be recruited from them to get onto these schools. So the more qualifications you have, obviously, the better the chance you're going to stand. If you already have a degree, if you've got a first class, for example, I can already imagine that that's going to give you a better advantage as well. You're going to have an added advantage compared to somebody who's got a lower degree. If you also have maybe senior positions, you've got more experience in healthcare, I can also see that playing a part in you getting admission. But you just have to evaluate and see, is this what's best for you? Is it not? Because for me, for example, I'm currently doing a master's in advanced clinical practice, which is quite similar to a medical degree. And what this enables me to do is, working as a nurse practitioner, I'm taking on a job that would normally be done by a doctor, and it's also an apprenticeship that I'm doing. So this is also funded by Health Education England. But because it's 3 years on the job training, when I qualify, obviously you're still, a nurse. You don't become a doctor. So that's the main difference. But the main difference there, therefore, is that when you're weighing up the different apprenticeships, you need to be aware, are you better off pursuing an apprenticeship in the role that you've already got, especially if you're already in a senior position, or do you want to go back to this particular role and start afresh to then qualify as a doctor? So what I'll say is, if you're already a senior nurse, this apprenticeship, for example, is going to be a massive pay cut for you. But the good thing is that you're going to qualify as a doctor at the end. So if this is something that you've always wanted in your career, it's going to be quite a good opportunity for you to achieve that. But if you're already a senior nurse like me, by the time I decided to become a nurse practitioner, I was already quite a senior nurse, which means I was earning, quite a lot of money. So going back to do an apprenticeship like this for 5 years, for me, would be a massive pay cut, because it would take me over 10 years to get back to my current pay as a nurse. So what I'm saying is, when you're evaluating this apprenticeship, you need to know that being a doctor in the UK, for example, doesn't necessarily mean that you earn more money, because the way you're paid in the UK, it depends on your role, it depends on your position, it depends on how far you've progressed within that career, which means that even though I'm a nurse, I still earn more than many doctors that I work with, because you don't earn in the UK because you're a doctor, you're earning more. I'm saying this because I know that there are many countries where doctors just earn more than nurses, but in the UK, this is really not the case. So if you're choosing to do this course, you need to make sure that you're doing your research really well. If you want to get into the apprenticeship, is it that you're looking for better pay? Are you just looking for career change? Are you just looking because you've always wanted to become a doctor? So those are some of the things that I just want you to be reflecting on, to be thinking about, and not just assume that obviously because it's medicine is going to be better paid, because that's not really how it works. Like I say, being a nurse practitioner myself, I get paid, a lot more than many of the doctors that I actually work with, but I'm still a nurse. So for me, for example, this apprenticeship would not be worth it. But for a nurse or a healthcare professional who hasn't really progressed, who is still looking for those opportunities, this would be so fantastic to get onto, because obviously the General Medical Council also, once you successfully complete the course and you have your GMC PIN number, you're going to start as an F1 doctor, obviously. And F1 doctors in the UK, their starting salary is about 28,000 pounds per year as a doctor. So you need to be aware of some of those differences. And even though the starting salary for a nurse, for example, is also 27,000, you need to be aware that the career progression pathway for doctors is very different. And they've got, clear-cut pathways to say, oh, if you want to become a GP, this is what you need to do. If you want to become an anesthetist, this is what you do. But in nursing, you don't really have those pathways. So again, I'm just giving you ideas to think about, to reflect on, if you're considering this particular course. And also, they've said that it's going to be full-time or part-time. So full-time, I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but they've said that it's going to be 5 years. So I'm thinking, does it mean that if you're doing it part-time, is it going to be longer than 5 years? Is it going to be 7 years? Obviously, once recruitment starts, we're going to be able to have more information, and I'm going to bring it to you on this channel. Again, I support with career progression in the UK, because I'm very much for us being our best selves, for us being able to do more, for us earning more money. And look, because if you're not progressing in your career, nobody's going to pay you more for doing nothing or for being in the same level. So this apprenticeship into medicine is something that is so amazing. So you want to make sure that if you're keen on it, start looking for employers now, because like I've said, you can already preempt the types of employers that are going to be recruiting. And the whole point of this pathway is that it's going to help, with the short, because look, the UK has an acute shortage of doctors, just like they're short of nurses. They haven't got enough GPs. So the hope is that this pathway is going to enable organizations to train their own doctors. So once you complete your training, you then work in that hospital or in that area as a doctor. That's the hope that, Health Education England is hoping to achieve that, because right now, they are very reliant on overseas doctors, and it's about trying to reduce the need. It's trying to reduce the need to recruit more overseas, so that there's more homegrown talent and there's more people being trained in the UK to take on these medical positions. So again, if this is something that you're keen on, applications are going to be opening soon. I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep you updated. So just hit subscribe, turn on notification button. I want to see, how do you feel about this? Leave some comments below. What are your concerns? Would you be interested? What do you do currently? Just leave those comments below. I'll join you in there and we can talk further about this particular apprenticeship route into medicine, and just see how you can better prepare yourself now, so that when those applications open, you're ready and you're able to apply. And also, I'm going to say one of the things, in nursing is that nurses always feel like if you're academically good, it's not any added advantage, because all you need is empathy. All you need is to be good, to be sweet, to be nice. Look, gone are the days. You need to be academic nowadays, because for many of these positions, other healthcare professionals are going to beat us nurses. Why? Because in other professions like pharmacy, for example, academic excellence is really encouraged, which means that students are able to successfully go through those degrees like medicine, then later on for apprenticeship like this. But if you're a nurse and all people are saying is, oh, you just need your NMC number, you don't need to worry about the grades that you have, whether you have a first class or not, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you that it does matter. So if you're studying nursing right now and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, I would love to be a doctor, this is an opportunity for you to make sure that you put in all the effort that you need, get the best degree. Because look, when it comes to that recruitment, I can see people having better degrees, having higher chances of being chosen, obviously, because medicine, like I said, it's a very highly academic course. And so, rightfully so, you want to select candidates that are more likely to succeed. And that is going to be driven by the evidence that you've already got from your current degree. So, again, you want to make sure that you're getting yourself set, you're getting yourself ready, and when applications open, like I said, I'm going to bring it over to you. So, there's a pathway that when I saw, I thought, oh my God, I must share this with you, because I'm sure that you're going to be very excited if medicine is your thing. So again, keep an eye on the channel, because I'm going to be bringing more of this information, and leave any comments in the comment section and just say, Melvis, I will implement, so that I know that you're here and you're keen on it. If you like the content, again, just like the video, because it just encourages me and it lets me know that you enjoy the content that I do, and I can do more of things like this, because really I only do videos for things that people are asking me. Otherwise there's just no point. It takes quite a lot of time to do all this, so there's no need for me wasting my time, wasting your own time as well. So please make sure you're implementing these things. Like the video, just let me know if you want any other content. I'm more than happy to do that for you and bring that information once it becomes readily available, so that you can apply and finally become a medical doctor in the UK and live your dream. Because look, that's what this channel is all about, bringing you the best opportunities in the UK, so you can thrive, you can excel, you can live your best life, you can progress. Whether you're already a carer and you're thinking, oh my God, this is for me, look, go for it. Don't limit yourself. Don't feel that you're not able to do it. Don't feel that the best opportunities are for certain people and you're out of it. Don't leave yourself out. Count yourself in, put your application in, get yourself ready, and make sure that you're putting yourself out there, because there's nothing more than putting yourself out there. So thank you. Keep watching the videos.